Good afternoon and welcome to another Happy Hour with the Maestro. My name is Nick Palmer, music director and conductor of the North Charleston Pops Orchestra. Well, you can see I am in the Low Country in a lovely spot here. This is actually my backyard. And I'm heading right over to the Performing Arts Center for our second half of our Backstage tour with our dear friend Jeff Litchenberg. We'll be there in just a moment. Just have a couple of quick things to say before we head over to the pack. First of all, I want to thank the Gaylord and Dorothy Donnelly Foundation for their continued grant support of the North Charleston Pops, and also the South Carolina Arts Commission. And we do have our sponsor for the show. That is, of course, Maestro Wines. And Maestro Wines has just started a new venture selling some fabulous wine. It's called Scout and Cellar Wine. That's the name of the company that I will be selling for. And the wines that they make are all what they call clean crafted. These wines are even better than organic. They are biodynamic. There is no sugar added, no sulfites added, no chemicals used. The wines are really spectacular. So if you'd like more information, why don't you just text me and say, hey, Nick, I want some more information on those great wines, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Now, as this is the afternoon and I'm heading over to a tour, I'm not going to be having a beverage at this moment, but we did record our beverage, which is specially selected for both Frank and Jeff by me. First, let's talk about our drink. Well, because we have a couple of really cool dudes, I thought, well, what is the ultimate in cool dudes? That would, of course, be James Bond. Boom, James Bond. So, in his honor, and to celebrate these cool guys, we're going to have, coming into focus now, a Vesper Martini. Let's check it out. Quite lovely, and quite debonair and elegant as well to match these guys. So the Vesper Martini is a martini that is made with both gin and vodka, and it has, instead of the traditional vermouth, it has Lillet Blanc, and Lillet Blanc is a lovely liqueur that is similar to a vermouth, but instead of having the herbal taste that a vermouth has, it has a much sweeter and smoother taste because it has orange peel in it, and that gives it a completely different kind of a flavor. And the traditional Vesper Martini has lemon slices or a lemon that has been zested. This one doesn't, because I didn't have any lemons today, but let's give it another try. Pretty nice, I will say. And this particular one is made with a kind of an homage to Sean Connery. It is made with Hendrick's gin, which is from Scotland, and then our own very famous craft gin from the United States, craft vodka, Tito's vodka. So we have a really great show, and I'm not going to talk a whole lot more because we want to get right to the fun. First, let's meet Frank Lapsley, who happens to be the general manager of the North Charleston Performing Arts Center, the Coliseum, and also the Convention Center in North Charleston. Let's give a big happy hour welcome to Frank Lapsley.
Thanks, Nick. It's great to see you again. I miss having you guys in the building. You know,
well,
that old building really likes to make noise, and we miss having you guys in there making all that beautiful noise. We need to get you back soon.
And we really miss being there. That's why I have to have this virtual background, because I want to remind people we're coming back soon.
You're absolutely right. This creates an incredible orbit for the folks of the Low Country to come into our venue and see our shows. We have a collaboration of over 300 stadiums, arenas, convention centers. The manual is about 280 pages long, and it provides all the details for every single component of making a building safe. We're in the starting blocks. We're ready to go. We're looking to the governor for when he will release to be able to start taking more people into the venue. We're going to make sure that we can do it safe and get people in the building, out of the building, and our performers are able to do their thing professionally and safely.
I've been telling the listeners on this show that when it happens, that they can rest assured that they will be safe, because a lot of time and effort's gone into the planning.
If a guest wants to know what we're doing to keep them safe, more than happy to talk to them one-on-one directly and say, here's what we're doing. We want our guests to be our advocates in the community. When they go home, I want them to say to their neighbors, you know what? It was a great experience. The Pops were wonderful, and we felt 100% safe. Our professionalism about how we handle this is going to be reflected in the advocacy that we get from our guests as they go out into the world and say, hey, I wasn't scared. I loved the event. It was perfect. You guys should go see a show.
The Performing Arts Center, where we play, is one of the busier performing arts centers in the nation.
I think our last rank was 14th or 12th in the nation, about where we were. And having that recognition is very nice, but having 2,400 people walk out with big smiles on their faces, I'd rather take 2,400 votes from our guests having a great night than a few votes from those polls. So yes, we are ranked nationally. We're proud of that. So overall on the complex, we do about 450 shows a year. The PAC is by far the busiest event building that we do. We'll do about 150 events in there throughout the year. If we can start in January, we'll have 7 Broadway shows in the first 6 months of the year. We're going to see a lot of entertainment in the first 2 quarters of 2021. It's a great building, and the promoters love it. The artists really love it, and the guests love it as well. When it comes time and when it is safe to travel, we will probably see some fun acts that maybe ordinarily wouldn't play here, but they're saying, hey, if we got to rehearse somewhere, let's go to North Charleston. Let's go see our friends down in the Low Country. So we think we'll pick up because of the uniqueness of the pandemic and everybody coming off the road for 4, 6, 8 months, that it'll create a unique opportunity for us.
We have tremendous respect for you and your staff, because we feel great every time we get on stage, and everything is so seamless. We find the level of professionalism to be just remarkable. And I know that the guest artists, when they come here, feel the same way. And of course, as you say, it is a wonderful addition to be able to come hang out in the Low Country. And let's talk a little bit about what we're going to see later when we go with Tacy and Jeff Litchenberg into the center to see some renovations that are happening.
Yeah. Hey, first off, thank you about the talking about my staff. You know, I don't run the building; they run the building. And you know, when you get into a large corporation, you realize that the really smart people that you've hired and put in those positions to run those roles really are the people who run it. And whether you're dealing with JJ or you're dealing with Jeff, you know that we made some really good decisions on the people we chose to be part of our team. So I appreciate it, but the credit starts at the bottom, not at the top in our building. So thank you, though. I love being part of the Pops. I love being part of what we're doing, this everything we have going on at the Performing Arts Center. And especially the fact to get in with an organization that's growing, where there is no upside, where there is, the tangential benefits of the Pops doesn't necessarily end when you guys take your bows at the end of the night. Everything that you guys do in the community, everything you do at the schools, everything you do with collecting instruments, the stuff that people don't see when the curtain goes down is really it's really something that I find proud and happy and I enjoy to be part of. So, and those kids who get to see that is very rewarding. It really is. We're always about selling more tickets, about providing opportunities for local businesses to become partners with us as well through sponsorship. And,
right.
The hope is that people are seeing the whole brand. They're seeing the whole of the North Charleston Pops and the North Charleston Performing Arts Center as a total experience, and that they recognize that we're all one.
So we're going to be going inside with Jeff in just a little bit. But to give us a little preview of some of the things that are happening, and then we're going to see them for ourselves.
You can show them where your autograph is on the wall and where the rest of where the rest of the Pops autographs are. You can show them the tags we get from the Broadway shows. It's going to look like a construction zone. Again, it's going to look like we are stripping everything to the bones. We're only leaving the autographs, and I hope Jeff will show you all those things. And I'm going to leave all the details to him, because it really is a labor of love for him, and I don't want to steal anything, but you're going to absolutely love it. I probably should have led with the best news possible is we have no more parking problems ever again. No more parking problems.
Everybody wants to hear that.
Yeah, I can hold major concerts in the Coliseum and in the Convention Center. We can hold the boat show and a concert and our Pops group. Our 2,500 space parking garage is on schedule to open late October, early November. So it'll be open before we get to our first show. And we're very excited about it. It's really going to be the next step in helping me be able to book more shows.
And especially excited to now take a tour and see some of the renovations. So thank you, Frank Lapsley, for being with us on Happy Hour with the Maestro.
Enjoy your happy hour. Thank you, folks.
Thanks, Frank. Well, we're here backstage at the Performing Arts Center, and we're just about to take a tour with our good friend Jeff Litchenberg. He's going to tell you a little bit about himself and a little bit about our wonderful facility that we have. It's a really world-class facility here in North Charleston. So let's go and meet Jeff and see what's going on backstage. Hey everybody, we're backstage at the Performing Arts Center, and you can see we're social distancing. We've been very well behaved, and I am here with my friend and colleague and associate, Jeff Litchenberg, who's right over there. Exactly 6 feet away. Well, he is going to tell us about this fascinating renovation that's going on backstage. Not only is the renovation fascinating, but what goes on stage is even more fascinating, and it's kind of the heart of our whole existence here at the Performing Arts Center. And without Jeff and his crew, we couldn't do what we do. So we're going to take a little walk around and just see some of the neat things that are going on, and he's going to kind of guide us and tell us what happens back here.
Welcome, Maestro.
Thank you, Jeff. Always a pleasure.
Man behind the curtain.
Yes, there you go. You are the special person behind the curtain.
Well, basically, we're coming in the stage door. This is where everybody walks into the building that has ever performed in here. And right this way is our loading dock. So this is our 30-foot space. Tractor trailers will back into these two large doors right here. And then we'll push stuff across the stage. So we're this close from 53-foot semi to backstage. And we'll have a crew of anywhere from 6 people, 30 people, up to 100 people to get all of that stuff off the trucks, onto the stage, build it, and set it up. So this is pretty much the first steps of a show coming in, is from truck to stage.
So you've had some really large shows come through here during your history. We'll talk a little bit more about some of them, but one of the largest ones, or maybe if not the largest, was Lion King recently.
Yes, sir.
And how many semis did you have for Lion King, and how long did it take you to load in?
We had 19 semis come through all of their gear. 4 of them came 2 days earlier. 1 day earlier. The other 15 followed the next day because they hopscotch from one venue to another. So when one set is tearing down, the other set is in the next city, building it up in another place. And then all of the costumes and all the other stuff gets brought on those other 15 tractor trailers from town to town to town. They stay for 2 weeks. It takes about 2.5 days to put Lion King into the theater and about 36 hours to put it all back in the truck and make it go away.
So you have to work an awful lot of hours, especially then, but I think generally you work a lot of hours, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah, you're very kind. We know. Your work is never done. I just remember when we have concerts, and it's 10 o'clock or 10:30, and you're just starting.
Right. So they tell us if you don't have to be here, don't be here, because there'll be days when you have to be here.
Oh, yeah.
So I've slept in my office, and so there's been long days.
I can only imagine. So tell us a little bit before we start going around the other direction here about your staff, how many people you have working with you, what is your official title, and what are some of the other people that work with you, what are their responsibilities?
My official title is the Technical Supervisor, but nobody knows what that is on the outside. So everybody refers to the technical director as the person who takes care of the Coliseum and the PAC and all the convention centers and all of that. So that's my title as technical director. I have one gentleman underneath me, Jared Rett, who's my AV-IT technician. He's my right-hand man. He helps us out in every way, to the scoreboard, to the signage around the building, audio here, lighting here, the fly system, the soft goods, the pit, everything that moves, makes noise, makes light. He helps me with that. So when a show comes in, say Lion King, they're the ones that are going to request how many people they need to make the show work. So it could be between 6 for a small little show up to 108. I think over in the Coliseum they had 153 for either KISS or one of the other larger shows. So it really depends upon the show, and we get those people from the local IATSE 333 union. They're trained in what's supposed to happen in theaters, so we bring them in and they do their specialty. Either it's audio, lighting, carpentry, props, electrics, all of that. And that's how we actually maintain our labor pool. We don't have that many people on staff. We just pull from the local union when the show requires.
That's really fascinating, and it's amazing to me the amount of shows that you do here, not just in the PAC but also in the Coliseum, and I guess in advance you know exactly what is going to be required. It's not like they show up and say, oh, by the way, we need 150 guys or gals or whatever.
There's conversations months in advance.
Well, and you get the
weeks in advance.
What are they, riders?
Yes, sir.
And that tells
technical
you
riders,
exactly what they need and what they need to ask you to do and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
And they already know when they've written the rider, they know the technical information about the facility. They know the size and the space.
We have a tech spec sheet that we send to the folks coming into the building. So they can look at that and it reads the common verbiage of technical show stuff. So they look at, you have this many speakers and this many lights and this size stage, and they scale their show to match the building.
And I bet when they come, they're very impressed because of what you have to offer. I know I've been in a lot of other houses where a lot of shows can't really go there because they need, to bring in many, many semis, and they need to have a door like that, which is gigantic, and they need to have a huge stage. I know for the Pops, for us, it's just such a luxury to have so much room on stage, and we just so appreciate the work that you all do, because there's so many levels of, from the lighting, which is amazing, to the sound, which is amazing. You make us sound like we're in the best concert hall in the world, which we are, but I mean, acoustically, maybe it's not exactly the same design.
Stuff before you can make a good product.
Oh,
right?
yes, thank you. You guys are cool. So, well, let's see is going on backstage. This is always really fascinating. People are always wondering what actually happens backstage and what does the backstage look like. So we're going to take a little walk around this area, starting where the offices and the dressing rooms are. And Jeff's going to tell us what is going on. We'll let you go first.
Normally we don't look like this. We're currently in renovations. They're stripping the floor down and they're going to restain and repolish the entire thing, but this is a construction site pretty much right now. Normally when you look down this hallway, there would have been the cafeteria green flooring. We had 2x4s on the wall so the road cases wouldn't scratch the names off of the walls, and we had plywood across where you see all the glue to also protect the walls. But all that's been taken off and stripped, and we're hopefully going to put in some nicer looking chair rail and some beadboard and kind of spruce it up a little bit and stain the concrete underneath.
But you did leave some stuff behind, which is great, and these are a lot of memories of different shows. Tell us a little bit about some of these signatures and
Absolutely.
Stuff on the wall.
So we're in the process of trying to save every signature we can. So people like B.B. King, who's no longer with us, his autograph is there
That's amazing.
forever. And I think
That's so cool.
Alton Brown's signature is also here, and he's no longer with us as well.
All right.
So while we're in this area, one of the first Broadway shows, well, the first Broadway show we had is Annie. And that show has been here 3 times. Interesting enough, the actor that did FDR played in all 3 times that Annie was in the building. So
cool.
his name is on there 3 different times, so he didn't have to rememorize his lines, and it's good job security.
That's pretty fascinating. And, as we were talking earlier with Frank Lapsley, he made it very clear that a lot of people come here because they love to come to the Low Country, because they love the Low Country, but then they love the facility.
Yes.
And those 2 things together make it...
It helps.
Yeah,
Helps a lot.
Make it a very...
Apparently
nice
everybody likes to either start a tour here or end a tour here because of golf.
Yes, golf, right?
Everybody likes to go golf out at the oceans.
Oh, yeah.
They
Golf
start
and eat.
Yes.
And hang out in the wonderful weather,
exactly.
among other things, yeah. So these are some of your administrative, your technical offices, I guess, right?
These are administrative offices
Yeah.
down here. Behind this closed door is our hospitality room that isn't terribly hospitable right now, but it's getting a remake just like everything else. Normally there'd be a counter and refrigerator and ice maker and all that creature comforts for tour buses coming through to refill their ice machines. Beyond that is the dressing rooms.
This is my favorite room right here.
This is the Maestro's room. This is his dressing room, star dressing room number 1. It's getting a remodel. Brand new tile, we're putting in new flooring, putting in granite countertops, putting in new ceiling, giving a fresh coat of paint. We had new furniture that's just gonna go back in.
Nice.
So,
Well, I can't wait to see it, and as I probably told you before, and I did tell Frank the other day, it's my all-time favorite dressing room.
well, good.
It's a wonderful dressing room. It's just super, super cool and super luxurious, I gotta say. So we got another room over here that we use for when our players are here, and I guess when the casts are here for shows.
Right across the hall is Chorus Room A. These are one of the 2 larger rooms that we have. It currently has 11 makeup stations. It used to have 24, but we took out the center sections, and we're going to replace those with temporary ones whenever needed. But we thought more bands could use this as a rehearsal area, or if a large group wants to be together, instead of chopping them up into the other small dressing rooms, we just shove them all in here and they can have this nice big space. We're going to put in 55-inch TVs. There's 2 showers, 3 bathrooms. There'll be sinks, so they'll be ready to go.
Sounds great. So you do have quite a few dressing rooms here, and that's always great for us when we're here, because if we have a lot of performers, stars, let's say, they get an opportunity to use these different rooms. And of course, our concertmaster Jerome Stewart has his own room.
He does.
How many times does a concertmaster of an orchestra have their own room? So that's pretty cool. And he loves it, believe me. I know, I speak for him. I know he does.
He deserves it. He does a good job.
Oh, he does, of course.
So those are the two larger dressing rooms. And again, we're surrounded by signatures of everybody who's been in and out throughout the years.
I mean, you don't have to look very far to see somebody famous on each wall. It's pretty fascinating. Styx, Carrot Top.
Electric Light Orchestra.
Oh yeah, Electric Light Orchestra. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, Jerry Seinfeld's down here.
Oh, Jerry Seinfeld. Gosh, that's awesome.
Steve Martin and Martin Short is right here in this little spot, because Frank said, hey, why don't you give us a little signature? So Steve Martin, in normal Steve Martin comedy, gave us a little signature.
It sounds like Steve Martin. That's pretty good. Okay, so do you want to walk around this way?
Sure, we'll follow
let's
down
do
around.
that. And then we'll end up, eventually end up backstage, and you can tell us about what's happening over there. One of the other things that patrons are very interested in, and which I noticed driving in today, was this gigantic new parking garage.
Yes.
And as Frank told me earlier in the conversation tonight, it means that we will not have parking problems anymore.
No, we shouldn't have parking problems.
Which is great. And, you know, that's one of the real positives about people attending a concert here at the Performing Arts Center versus a lot of places otherwise in the Low Country, is the fact that there is a lot of parking, and it's very convenient.
Yes.
It's a convenient location and convenient parking. It's going to be even more convenient parking-wise when the new garage is finished, which should be this fall,
Should be
right?
November.
Yeah. So
November
that's,
is when they're telling us. Unless rain stops us, we should be opening in November.
or hurricanes.
Or, well, yeah, lots of rain.
Right. Well, there's supposed to be more hurricanes this year, but we're keeping our fingers crossed. Wow, this is amazing, the kind of shows that you have coming in here. Just about anything. And, you know, the other thing about the shows that's fascinating from our standpoint is a lot of times when these shows tour, they use, you know, maybe 2 or 3 musicians in the pit. Whereas here, when they come, frequently they use a larger group, maybe a small orchestra.
Right.
And our musicians are always the ones in the pit. So we're always thrilled that the North Charleston Pops players, in fact, that's kind of how the whole North Charleston Pops started, was groups of players led by our executive director, Tacy Edwards, would perform in the pit, and that eventually grew into the full orchestra.
Exactly.
Cool.
Oldie and Best, 2001. Long time ago. 19 years ago.
Well, how many years has the PAC been going? When was it built and when did it start?
It opened in 1999.
Okay.
August 10th was our first show
Okay.
with Harry Connick Jr. Way before my time. I came around in 2010
Okay.
with Beauty and the Beast, one of them down there, being my first show
Great.
as an RF technician.
Nice. Would you want to go on stage now, or do you have anything else? I know there's another.
Well, this is just the
larger-
backside, yeah. So it's basically a big circle all the way around, so nobody gets lost, hopefully. The not real exciting wardrobe is back there that has the washer dryers, but it's all tore up.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a green room around the corner that usually gets taken by the promoter.
Okay. And it's always nice to have a green room, you know, for gathering, and as you mentioned, the hospitality room earlier, that's where we do our receptions after the concerts, which people really enjoy. All right, we're going to go backstage, and you can show us what's going on back here and what happens back here.
So currently this is our storage area for all the stuff that normally lives in the dressing rooms. So that's why you see couches and pianos and trash cans and racks and refrigerators and all of that stuff. But we're also set up for our live stream shows called Pack Presents. We've managed to piece together all of the pieces that we need to do a live stream for camera shot from the stage.
And tell us when those are and how people can check those out.
So that happens every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. Our Facebook page is the best place to go see it live, and we're also streaming it to YouTube.
That's great. They're really great shows, and a lot of great technical stuff going on from your end on the production side in addition to the music.
Exactly. So this is Stage Left. Stage Left normally holds audio for concerts. So your monitor engineer and monitor equipment would sit on this side. Over there in that corner is all of our amplifiers and distribution power and things that we need to make the audio in the house work.
And one of our friends is here too. One of our other friends who we know and love.
This is Jared Rhett. He's my right-hand man.
Hello. Hey.
He takes care of all of the other technical side of the Coliseum and hockey and helps me anytime I need anything over here.
And he does a terrific job for us too. We really appreciate JJ. Yeah. All right.
Coming around this side, you're basically going to look up, and that's our intelligent lighting system. So we currently have 48 LED wash lights and 12 moving heads that are wash lights and spotlights. So with those, we can change color, we can change patterns, we can do much more varying looks on stage during any kind of concert. If you look down below, those really bright red ones are called cyc lights. It's currently washing that mid-stage Traveler right there. And we can change that into any 1.6 million color changes, and they separate into 10 cells themselves, and we can get fantastic looks that you would see normally during pop shows and that you'll see on the live streams.
Yeah, and part of our broadcast tonight, we will see some of the great work that you all have done for us, which is just highly creative, colorful, and really enhances our shows to a great degree. So we really greatly appreciate those. Yeah, it's a very sophisticated system, and you have so many different levels of lighting, and I know you can do things like logos, right, where you like have a gobo on a light and those kind of things. It's pretty amazing the kind of stuff that you're able to do.
And technology keeps increasing time over and over, so it's just a good thing.
Right.
Say we're only dreaming.
A dazzling place I never knew. But when I'm way up here, it's crystal clear that now I'm in a
So if I can point your attention up through the lighting, if you can actually see that, there's a grid up there of 3-inch metal C-tracks. Now, up there is where large shows come in and they'll mount chain motors to pipes in that grid and drop the chain down, and that's how they put in large pieces of their stage, or pieces that move in and out, or set pieces. So when Lion King came through, they had 108 different motors pulled up and set in place.
Wow.
Which is why it takes so stinking long to put Lion King in.
Yes.
But and then we have to run power up there and control, so they have the ability to raise and lower every one of the motors and make that happen. So above that grid, which is 67 feet in the air, there is another system called our fly system. So it consists of this 70-foot pipe. I don't know if you can see it hanging these, or holding these lights up right now, but there's a 70-foot pipe going from one side to the other that has 7 aircraft cables attached to it.
Wow.
Individually, about 10 feet apart from each other. They go up, hit a pulley, and go across the top of the ceiling above the grid over to the fly system on this side over here. Up there's a head block that makes another turn of those 7 cables and brings them down to an arbor. Now the arbor we can weight. So what happens is this curtain right here and its track weighs 700 pounds. There's no way we could pick 700 pounds up and move it. So we weight the arbor on that side, the same 700 pounds as this curtain track and pipe. Now, one person can easily maneuver a rope and bring that arbor in and out because it's basically balanced on both sides. And that's how we get things flown. We call it flying in and out. Props, curtains, pieces of set, lighting fixtures, all of those pieces. So, if you come this way, you'll see all these white ropes covering this entire wall. So now I can take this entire curtain, unlock it, and move it up and down just with pulling on this rope.
Boy, you're strong. 700 pounds.
Just smart, not a strong.
There you go. Wow, that's amazing.
So we can bring those in and out. And that's how they do different scene changes in theater. They bring in, if you have an opening act and they don't want to show all of the main act's stuff, they'll put something in between the front and back and we'll fly that out. But that's basically, it's just one guy running ropes. And for Lion King, they had 5 people.
Wow.
There were so many things moving in and out, they actually had to have 5 people, some moving this in, some moving that out. And if you want a good shot of an arbor, so
Oh, that's what it is.
this is the arbor.
Okay.
These are the weights. Those are 22 pounds apiece, and those are 33 pounds apiece. And we just do quick math and make the weight,
Yeah.
and then it just flows in and out.
Wow, that's fascinating.
And that's our fly system. You want to get a good shot going up in, it's kind of cool. I think we calculated at one time there are 2.5 miles of aircraft cable running from the top of the arbor up and over and across and
Yeah.
down the pipes.
Wow, that's amazing.
We had to touch every one of them one year, and that was not fun. So that's the fly system.
Cool. And I know we did see some shots of the hall as well earlier. Tell us how many seats that we have in the hall.
We're currently 2349
Okay.
with all of our seats and our pit sold or put out. So we can put 65 chairs in the pit at audience level. or they can take it down and use it as a real pit, or it can be as you see it now at stage level to extend the stage for when you guys have your piano people come out.
Right, and we need the extra room.
We need the extra space down the stage.
Now, the pit itself can handle quite a large group of musicians.
It'll
As an
hold
orchestra.
27,000 pounds.
Right. Well, that's a lot of people.
Gosh, a lot of viola players.
Oh yeah. And it's interesting that this hall has a special name. It's not the type of hall you see a lot of times that have rows in the middle. What do you call this type of seating?
We're continental seating.
Continental.
Or you don't want to be stuck in the middle if you have to go to the bathroom.
Right. There you go. But there is a fair amount of room if you need to get
There
up.
is a fair amount of room,
Not
but
real tight. So
but
which
it
is
is-
good because it means you get a lot of leg room.
We do.
Which is
we get a lot of people in so we can sell more tickets, and
Absolutely.
there's not a bad seat in the house.
There's not.
You can see from every seat, and my specialty is you can hear from every seat. So
Oh yeah.
we're
And
very
you
happy.
do have, like great racks of speakers that enhance the sound, and the sound is always, as I mentioned earlier, always really amazing and sounds just terrific.
Thank you very much.
We greatly appreciate that.
Take a lot of pride.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else we haven't seen?
Unless you want to take a walk up 67 feet, there's
No,
not
we're
a
good.
lot.
We're good. Thanks, Jeff.
I could take you to the catwalk, but we could do that another day.
Well, yeah, that can be part 2 of the Backstage tour.
So
Well, we really appreciate you taking the time. This is
Absolutely.
really fascinating, and you do such a great job for us, and we really appreciate you and your staff very, very much.
it's, what do they say? If it's a job you love, you don't do a day of work in your life. So
Yeah, I think we would agree with that on the musical end too.
it is a job I love. There are days that it's more rough than not, but the people are fantastic for sure.
They are, but you,
And some of the technical people that we've come and meet, I've learned tremendous amounts from them because I'll watch and see what they're doing, try to reproduce it, because if it's working for them, there's no reason why it wouldn't work for me. So
that's always a really fun component of this, and it's the same with us. We'll have a great performer come in, and I'll think to myself, wow, how do they do that? Whatever it is musically that they're doing, and I always learn something myself.
yes, that's fantastic.
So,
Yeah.
Well, we're really looking forward to being back in the pack soon.
Yep.
We talk about this all the time. We're so waiting and with bated breath, as they say, to get back in here. And any great stories you want to share with us about your work here in the pack?
Some of the people that have come through have been fantastic, like Jay Leno.
Oh,
The nicest guy that you would meet. He came in a plaid shirt and jeans, carrying his own bag, walked up behind us and said, "Hey, how y'all doing?" And we're like, "Yes, sir, what you need?" He was just a fantastic person. So having people like that really make this job wonderful. Because there are other people that they know who they are that make your life harder than it has
Yeah.
to be. So you just let those go. But it's nice to see the really great talent be nice.
that's right. Jeff, one of the things that really impresses us so much is we have a really high pressure, high intensity show that we're doing sometimes on one rehearsal, and you and your staff are always so calm. We never have to worry. Everything's taken care of. So many things are taken care of in such a way that we don't even know they're being taken care of, and you're always so calm and collected. How do you guys and gals do that?
We never let him see you sweat.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. And like they say, a duck on the water, you don't look at his feet scrambling underneath. It's just the smooth glide that keeps everybody happy on top.
There you go. A big thank you to Jeff Litchenberg for taking us backstage. We really appreciate your time, and we appreciate all the time you're putting in during the COVID to make this so much better as a place for us and everyone else who comes, not only as audience members, but people who are here as performers. It's such a wonderful space, and you guys and gals that run it are just so professional and really make it a pleasure for us to be here and make it seamless for the audience who just have no clue what's happening back here. But now, thanks to you and this walkthrough, they do have a little bit more of a clue. We greatly appreciate it. All right, we'll see you when we're back in action.
Sounds good. Look forward to it.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed the backstage tour of the North Charleston Performing Arts Center and had an opportunity to get to know our wonderful friend back here, Jeff Litchenberg. I want to thank a new sponsor, and that is the Gaylord and Dorothy Donnelly Foundation, for giving us support recently that we greatly appreciate. Our sponsor for this series is Maestro Wines. We hope you will be able to join us for a virtual wine tasting or some other fun event. And of course, our season sponsor, and that would be the Associates and everyone connected with Boeing. So thanks again. Stay well.